Hello YouTube, Gladiator Beasts YCS champion and World Championship competitor Mike Kohanam here. Today I'm going to talk about the new Duel Trial in Master Duel that I completed by using my Gladiator Beast deck. First I'm going to talk about the Duel Trial in general and its special rules. And then I'm going to show you replays of my matches with Gladiator Beasts in case you want to see the combos and refamiliarize yourself with those combos, especially with the Radiant Typhoon package in the deck, which I talked about in a recent video. Admittedly, some of my plays were suboptimal in those replays, but the general combos are there. This was an extremely low-stakes event, even though it is a little more competitive than recent Duel Trials. In previous Duel Trials, you only needed 3 wins to complete the event, and you only got a single pack for doing so. In this Duel Trial, there were gems up for grabs, you needed 10 wins to complete the event, and on that 10th win, you get a special Lightning Storm title. So there was definitely a lot more incentive to play in this Duel Trial, and the rules, that, as I'm about to talk about, are kind of interesting, particularly for analysis. This Duel Trial is called 5-card hand versus 6-card hand. And the player who goes first opens with a 5-card hand, while the player who goes second gets to open with 6 cards. When the player who's second takes their turn, they'll draw a 7th card for their turn. So there, Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG and Master Duel is notorious for giving the advantage to the player who goes first. So the extra card for the player who goes second in this Duel Trial attempts to, rebalance the odds to make it a little more favorable to go second. And the reaction to this has been pretty interesting, because it raises the question of how much is that one extra card actually worth? And having played Gladiator Beasts in this event, I can pretty confidently say that going first with 5 cards is still better than going second with 6 cards, which really says a lot about, the regular game where going first with 5 cards is tremendously advantageous over going second with 5 cards. And maybe I'm biased by the fact that my Gladiator Beast deck is much stronger going first than it is going second, so that extra card is much less consequential. And also, you could change your deck to benefit from that extra card going second, using stuff like Forbidding Droplet, kind of gearing the deck to go second. But since the event only counted wins and not losses, it didn't too strongly incentivize really building your deck for the rule adjustment, and was more so a fun way to kind of balance things out a little bit. I'll admit, my first thought was that having basically 7 cards going into your first turn is huge, and perhaps could be favorable over going first and opening with 5 cards. But my experience said something completely different, and I saw some interesting theories on Reddit as well, and I think one really stuck with me, that someone had said, if you think drawing 1 extra card is better than being able to set up by going first, it is basically boomer logic. And I think that's true. I think, in the earlier days of the game, obviously going second with a 6-card hand drawing to 7 would have been better than going first with a 5-card hand. But when a single card can snowball into so many more cards, I think that setup probably is more valuable than that additional card. And, the extra card could be helpful for drawing you another point of interaction on your opponent's first turn, but the odds of that are relatively low, that the 6th card is going to be that. So while it is advantageous to have that extra card going second, I think first is probably the way to go. So those are my thoughts on the Duel Trial itself. For the rest of the video, I'll just show off the replays. There hasn't been a lot changing in the Gladiator Beast world lately, so I haven't updated the channel too recently. I think I've hit every significant combo if you want to play Gladiator Beasts in either Master Duel or the TCG Advanced format. So the videos are all there for any aspiring Gladiator Beast players. But there hasn't been any new releases recently that bring life to new combos that I think I would play in the most competitive build of Gladiator Beasts. So here's some replays, and as I mentioned before, it does use the Radiant Typhoon cards that are really only useful in Gladiator Beasts in Master Duel because you have access to MX Saber Invoker.